Back in early 1993, Nintendo, with the help of Argonaut Software, released a new game for the Super Nintendo with graphics that had not been seen at the time. With the power of the newly developed Super FX chip that could render 3D models, a brand new franchise was born, StarFox, or StarWing if you're from Australia and the UK due to copyright reasons. The story is simple: stop the evil scientist Andros from conquering the Lylat system. You play as Fox McCloud, leader of the StarFox team, in the planet Corneria, the heart of the Lylat system's last defense against Andros.
Good luck.
Before you begin the game, you choose which control setup you want to use. There's 4 different options, but it's best recommended you choose either option A or B. If you want to test out the controls, you can either practice in that little box, or you can go to the training stage where you fly through rings and get a much better feeling for the controls there. Other than the basic controls shown here, if you press L while moving left, you'll move faster. And the reverse is true if you press R. By pressing L or R twice, you'll perform a barrel roll that will repel enemy fire. Also note that if you use the booster brakes, it takes up the entire bar no matter how long you push it, and you'll have to wait for it to recharge. Once you feel comfortable with the controls, it's time to save the Lylat system. At the select screen, you choose which course you want to take. The top is the medium difficulty, the middle is the easy course, and the bottom is suicide if it's your first time playing. Once you select a course, you can't change your route. You're stuck with where you go, except for 2 possibilities, but I'll talk about that later. Levels play out by having you fly through them shooting enemies and watching out for obstacles that come out in front of you until you reach the boss, blow it up, then move on to the next level. After each level, you'll get a total amount of how many ships you shot down and add that to a total. If your total reaches over an odd-numbered 100, you'll get a continue. If you're flying through a level that has ground, you can only see from behind your 3 triangles you call an R-wing. Actually, everything looks like it was made out of straight lines except for the asteroids. Forget StarFox, this game should have been called Geometry Wars. Though I'd be lying if I said I wasn't impressed by the look of this game when it first came out. If you're flying through space, then you can have the cockpit view where you actually have an aiming reticle to make things easier to shoot. Power-ups are a constant must in this game. You have the that give you yeah, like I'm really going to explain that. Collecting 2 gives your R-Wing the most powerful laser upgrade you can get. These circles with rings give you Nova Bombs, and their explosions light up the entire screen, so you can only have 5 at a time. These double cubes give you which is basically invincibility, which lasts only for a certain amount of damage, not time, meaning the better you are, the longer they last. Though you should still try to be careful with them because there are some things that the shield won't protect you from. Rings give you health and the color depends on how much it gives you, with the check mark ring giving you half your health back. Shooting these spinning diamonds and flying through them gives you an extra life. Finally, there's if your wings take too much damage, you'll get and you'll lose all of your power-ups until you get or die, you know, whichever comes first. During the levels, you'll see your teammates asking for help. Constantly. An average of 3 times in a level. If they take damage, they don't recover it. Ever. So if they get shot down, it's game over for them. You don't need them, but I hate to look like a terrible leader. Plus, once you save them, they'll help you shoot down enemies in your path for a short time without taking any damage. I could ask why they can't stay invincible all the time, but that would take the purpose out of the challenge of saving them, wouldn't it? Once you finally reach the boss, you'll have to try and guess what their weak spot is. Normally, it's easy to figure out since flashing parts are usually the weak part. But if you have trouble, one of your 3 wingmen will give you a clue. Just a clue? I save you 3 times in a level and all you do is give me a hint? If my lasers could hurt you, I'd shoot you down faster than you could get into trouble. Besides the look at this game, its soundtrack also made it stand out. It might not sound like the StarFox games we have today, but in all honesty, this was probably the best in the series. If you ever get the chance, try to listen to Fortuna, Corneria, and Corneria's boss. Back then, voice acting was a big deal in video games. If a game had it, it was considered advanced. This had a mixture between voice acting and sound effects. Very rarely did you get someone talking, and sometimes you get noises so hilarious you often find yourself imitating them. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Now here's what they really sound like. Not a bad imitation, right? One cool thing is that in space you can see some of the enemies from ships you just shot down flying right at you. Nice touch. It's nice to see a little sense of humor when everything's trying to shoot you. What the? Holy crap! Please don't kill me, giant space whale! I have 3 pathetic teammates to look after! Kill them instead, they deserve it! You're giving me power-ups instead? Oh, look at these power-ups! Yes! Thank you! That actually did surprise me the first time that whale showed up. Then I found out it was one of the secrets in the game. By turning all the manta rays blue and shooting down all the squids in Sector Y, the whale comes out and gives you every power-up you could possibly want before the boss. Other secrets include power-ups after flying through all the rings, and of course, the two biggest secrets in the game. In the asteroid stage on the easy course, if you wait until the rotating asteroids get close enough to you, then shoot them in apart and fly through where it was, through all three of them, then shoot the sinister looking asteroid or fly through it, you'll go to the black hole. And not just any black hole, the awesome black hole! In there you shoot down the broken enemy ships, grab power-ups, and go through one of the rings that take you to another level. One takes you to Course 2, Sector Y, another takes you to Sector Z on Course 3, and another takes you all the way to Venom on Course 1. This is the only way to change the route you're taking. Well, there is another way to change your route, but it becomes one of those endless loops. If you shoot down the second large asteroid in the asteroid level on Course 3, shoot the egg, then run into the bird, you'll be taken to another dimension, and you won't come back. This level looks like it was designed by someone on some very powerful illegal substances. Ugh. I think I'm getting high just by looking at it. Ugh. Don't do drugs, kids. And don't gamble either. As far as problems go, I only have some nitpicks. Performing a barrel roll in this game feels difficult. Maybe it's just me, but trying to press LOR twice on those flimsy shoulder buttons doesn't work for me that much. I even tried using a brand new controller to see if mine was just worn out. That wasn't the case at all, as I still found myself pressing the shoulder buttons about 4 times to get it to work. Personally, I never truly got the timing down for the boost and the brakes. I know I can't be the only one who has a problem with this too. As I've said before, your teammates are unbelievably useless in this game. I often find myself asking, why am I saving them if they don't do anything except block my shots at the enemies? Sure, they would help a little by shooting some of the enemies, but it didn't feel like they were helping out that much, and I question the consistency of how they take damage. Apparently they can't get shot in the back by enemies, but they can go through a building just fine. Falco was the most annoying to me because he was never grateful when I helped him out. Protecting my wingmates is my business. Moron. The frame rate will occasionally slow down every once in a while when there's too much on screen. But this is the Super Nintendo and this was revolutionary, so no one paid attention to it back then. There should also be a warning for this game as it has quick bright flashes after defeating most of the bosses, so if you're photosensitive or have had seizures, you shouldn't play this game. Finally, and this is just a pointless question, why does every boss look metallic? I used to think this was some kind of biometal enemy, but it's actually a creature under mind control, and it blows up after you beat it too. Maybe all that trapped helium or hydrogen or whatever it uses to spit fire built up too much inside and caused it to explode, but then I'd be looking too far into this. As you can plainly see, this was a revolutionary game back then. It's no wonder Nintendo used this in a commercial against Sega back then, saying, why go to the next level when you can go light years beyond? StarFox for the Super Nintendo had amazing graphics, a great soundtrack, left a mark in gaming history, and was just plain fun to play. Heck, you could have hours of fun with just the continue screen. Somehow this just doesn't get old. The only real issue you would have with the game is just performing a barrel roll. But you'll be pushing that button more times than you'll be pushing the fire button, so you should get used to it right away. StarFox is one of my favorite Super Nintendo games, and one of the most popular games to be wanted on the Virtual Console. It wouldn't make any sense at all if I gave it anything lower than this. A 5 out of 5. It's a great game to add to your collection.
Come in, Cornelia.
This is Cornelia, Pepper speaking. Congratulations on a job well done.
Roger. I'm heading back to Cornelia.